What's up, everybody? My name is Brian, and you are watching 7 Days to Pry. Hey folks, welcome to another episode of No Man's Sky. When we last left off, I had just used the hyperdrive for the first time. We're flying through hyperspace to a new solar system, and let's see where it drops us off in the universe. Okay, so I'm getting this message saying that my guidance system malfunctioned and it's calculating a new course for me to take. It's spamming those numbers 16, 16, 16 over and over again. And I'm going to accept the new guidance. So basically it's going to send me another waypoint for the next leg of my journey on following the main quest. I was pulsing along towards that waypoint and I got pulled out of my pulse drive by this pirate basically trying to pull me over. They're demanding money or else I'm going to have to fight them. I don't want to pay them money, so I'm about to engage in a dogfight here. Way too easy. There are more difficult battles later on in the game, but that one was pretty easy. Arrived on this really strange planet that has these floating stone structures all over the place. I'm gonna scan some of them with my scanner and earn myself some units before I go and complete the objective here. I've arrived at the waypoint and what I see is this stone structure. It's got a few knowledge stones on it where you can learn words of an alien language. And then there's a structure in the middle where the actual waypoint is. We'll see what that's all about. It's asking me if I'm a traveler or a friend. I'm going to answer that I'm a traveler. It's asking if I'm first or last. I tell it that I'm last. I'm assuming that's a good answer since I'm obviously the latest person to come here. Maybe I wasn't the first. Now it's got another question. Have you seen the Crimson Eye? Has the Crimson Eye seen you? I'm going to say I have seen the Crimson Eye. Now it's freaking out on me. It says find us traveler. And it gives me a warp cell. So that's pretty good. That'll allow me to warp to another system when I'm ready. So now I'm heading back to my Starship. I'm going to jump in and take off and see what's next for me in this adventure. Now that I've left the planet and returned to space, my communicator's going off. I'm getting a transmission from an unknown source. It's telling me I'm not alone and asks me to identify myself. I identify myself and he's saying, "You left me, why did you?" Tell him I don't understand. He says, of course you'd say that, just like the others. So I'm going to ask about the others. There is no reply. The communicator falls silent, though the channel remains open. So now I'm receiving another waypoint, and I'm going to travel out there and see what awaits me next. I arrive at my most recent waypoint and I find a crashed Starship. There doesn't appear to be anybody around, but there's a distress beacon. It looks like I'm going to have to repair the signal beacon before I'm able to activate it. Luckily I already had the supplies on me to do the repair. So once I activate it, it's telling me there's no sign of life, only stack of broken communicator. I'm going to extract the records. It says that the records are corrupt beyond recovery, but it does give me a blueprint for an advanced mining laser. This is going to be necessary for mining certain types of rocks. This ship is in need of repairs. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to repair the launch thruster and the pulse engine, and then I'm going to bring it to the space station and have it scrapped. That's a good thing to do with extra ships that you find, because when you scrap a ship, it allows you to get some of the parts that you can sell, and other parts you might be able to use as upgrades in your current ship. I'm also working on installing the advanced mining laser into my multi-tool. It looks like I'm going to need a wiring loom, which can be found at a space station. Other than that, it takes carbon nanotubes and hermetic seal. It's not too hard to make a hermetic seal. You do need condensed carbon. I'm actually working on making some condensed carbon in my refiner right now. So after doing a little mining and using my refiner and getting everything I needed, I'm now ready to finish my advanced mining laser. So that's all set. Now I can get into this ship and finish repairing that and take off. So now that I'm getting this ship off the ground, I'm going to get into space and try to get to the space station as quickly as I can. I want to avoid getting into any conflicts in this beat up old junker. But now it looks like I'm getting a message on my communicator. Artemis entity, we received your signal. Is it first? Is it last? Time for truth. You have their signal, but you are not Artemis entity. So I'm going to tell the truth. Your signal is familiar to Nada. We have been in contact before, I think. This would be a good time to come aboard, yes? A proper introduction to our home. So now this big space station called the Space Anomaly pops out in front of me. And I'm going to board it. Let's see what's inside. So sometimes when you enter the anomaly, you might experience a little bit of lag. You see there'll be these small graphical hitches. That's because you're joining a multiplayer session. The anomaly is essentially a lobby with several other players in it at the same time. You can interact with them, you can group up and do group missions together, or you can just go and interact with the NPCs that are in the anomaly. It's up to you. So over here we're going to meet Priest Entity Nada. He's the guy that reached out on his communicator while I was in space. I'm going to ask about Artemis first. He says he doesn't know Artemis's number, whatever that means. It says it was lost to us. Our anomaly is lost to the Sentinels, but none should be lost to the anomaly. The Korvax watches me. There is patience and organic tilt to the way they hold their metal shell. I'll ask about Nada. Nada awoke with the death of Korvax Prime, could not understand why such things happen, why we are alone. Now I am divergent, the convergence does not see us. Nada is not alone anymore. Nada is with Polo friend. Now many other friends visit. Our convergence is small, but Nada happy. Nada's carapace pulses with a gentle light. There is something familiar about them. I'm going to ask about Polo. Polo friend found Nada, found my signal. Nada is safe. Now Nada finds other signals, makes others safe. So basically he's saying that him and his friend Polo go around finding travelers like myself and helping them find safety. Over here I'm going to talk to Nada's friend, whose name is Polo. I guess he's bragging about all his friends. He thinks everybody is his friend. He's a very friendly guy, I guess. I'm going to ask him how to trace Artemis's signal. He says that when I leave the anomaly, I may be closer to where Artemis is. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Next, I'm going to head over this way and check out what other sorts of things we can do inside the anomaly. In this room, there's several stations where you can go and talk to these NPCs and purchase upgrades for your exosuit, your Starship, other things like that. You can spend salvage data units to purchase upgrades for your base. You can spend nanites to buy blueprints for all of your equipment to have upgrades. So you see here, this is the tech tree for the exosuit. I can purchase all these blueprints in this tech tree and learn how to make the items that would upgrade my exosuit. This guy over here is selling upgrades for multi-tools. He's also selling a multi-tool, but that one's still better than the one I already have. This guy over here is pretty useful. He'll give you nanites in exchange for data that you've collected. About once a week, he'll also give you a signal receiver for a derelict freighter, which is really valuable because it costs about 5 million units to get one of those from a trader. I went back to the room I was in previously. I'm going to spend some of my salvage data to purchase blueprints for a storage container. That's really important to have because you can build the same storage container in all of your different bases and be able to access them from every base that you own. So that means you can drop all your stuff in one place and always have access to it. And this becomes especially important once you get a freighter, because you can take your freighter with you everywhere and always get access to your items, especially after you get the teleporter for your freighter. Then even when you're down on a planet in the same solar system as your freighter, you'll have access to those inventories. Now I'm done messing around on the anomaly. I'm going to head back to my Starship and get out of here and see where my journey brings me to next. Now that I'm back out in space, I'm getting another message on my communicator. So this is Artemis, and he sounds like he's pretty confused. I'm going to identify myself. He says, "You found me. There's so little light. I thought I'd never hear another soul again. I really did. How did you find my voice?" I'll say I found a crashed ship. He cuts me off. He says, "It's outside, but I think I'm safe. There are 16 of them. They look just like..." I'm going to ask him about 16. Now he's saying, "You don't know who you are, do you?" Well, that's pretty confusing. It lied to me, it lied to all of... The sound cuts out, but their face lingers on, silent before it fades into nothingness. Now it's time to get this old wreck of a spaceship to the space station over there and sell it for scrap. Over here at the Starship outfitting station is where I can sell the ship for scrap. And it's telling me it's going to be worth 232,000 units. So I'm going to confirm that I want to scrap it. It's telling me I don't have enough inventory space in my exosuit to receive all the items from scrapping it. So first I'm going to go over here and buy another inventory slot, but I'm also going to go and sell some of the stuff that I am carrying around with me. So there's a few things here I can stand to get rid of and free up space for the stuff that's going to come from scrapping that Starship. Alright, this time I'm really going to scrap it now that I have room in my inventory for all the scrap materials. And among the other things that I got from scrapping the ship, I got upgrades for my pulse engine and my Starship shield. So I'm going to apply those directly to the technology slots. And you can see when that colored highlight goes around the items, that's showing you that it's getting the bonus for having similar items in adjacent technology slots. While I'm at the space station, I'm also going to shop. I just found this multi-tool that looks like it's an upgrade from the one I have. Not only does it have more tech slots, but it also is a B class, whereas mine is a C class. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that since I have enough units for it, and it definitely looks better than the one I have already. I'm going to have to do a little bit of work to reinstall some of the upgrades that my other one had, like the terrain manipulator and the advanced mining laser, but that's not a big deal. Alright, I think that's going to be it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more of my content in the future, please subscribe to the channel.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we